Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys predicted to trade for Eagles ex-star RB, intriguing option. The Dallas Cowboys may not be finished adding running backs. As the Cowboys prepare to begin training camp later this month, they'll do so with uncertainty at the running back position. That's because the team is lacking a clear-cut starter, with their major additions in the offseason being Ezekiel Elliott, who is more of a part-time back than a starter at this stage of his career, and journeyman Royce Freeman, who has started just one game since the 2019 season. Outside of those veteran additions, the Cowboys feature inexperienced runners in Malik Davis, Rice Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn. Neither of those running backs have been starters during their careers. That lack of certainty at running back is a major reason why Bleacher Report's Alex Ballentine is making the bold prediction of the Cowboys of Dallas making a move for a running back via trade. Ballentine mentions Carolina Panthers running back and former Philadelphia Eagles Pro Bowler Miles Sanders as an option. A veteran like Miles Sanders would also be an intriguing option, writes Ballentine. He completely lost the backfield in Carolina last season but had 1,347 yards from scrimmage in his 2022 campaign with the Eagles. The 27-year-old Sanders had a career-best year during the Eagles' run to the Super Bowl during the 2022 season. He clinched his first Pro Bowl berth by running for 1,269 yards and 11 touchdowns, ranking 5th in rushing yards and 8th in touchdowns during the 2022 season. While he did post a decent 4.2 yards per carry clip during the postseason in addition to his 148 rushing yards on 35 carries, his usage started to decrease in the playoffs. In fact, backup Kenneth Gainwell saw more carries, 38, and ran for 190 rushing yards during the playoffs. While Sanders' role clearly decreased during the playoffs, he parlayed his banner year into a major contract during the 2023 offseason, inking a 4-year, $25.4 million deal with the Panthers. However, Sanders was one of the least efficient running backs in the NFL last season, posting just 432 rushing yards on 129 carries with 3.3 yards per carry, all career lows. In fact, Sanders had the third lowest rushing average among the top 48 rushers from last season. Sanders' horrid start to the season led him to lose his starting job after the first 5 games of the season. After seeing 61 carries during the first 5 games of the season, Sanders carried the ball just 68 times in his next 11 appearances. The veteran back will enter the 2024 season buried on the depth chart behind Chuba Hubbard and second-round pick Jonathan Brooks. Carolina also added former Seattle Seahawks starting running back Rashad Penny to the equation. With Sanders likely on his last legs in Carolina, now would be the perfect time for the Cowboys to trade for him for a low draft pick. The Panthers would likely rather trade him than outright release him. He has a $10.5 million dead cap hit for the 2024 season and receive a late-round draft pick in return. While the Cowboys are unlikely to part ways with Elliott, Freeman's spot on the team isn't guaranteed. The same applies for the 3 inexperienced backs in Davis, Vaughn, and Dowdle. While Sanders is coming off of a rough season, playing behind an established line and one of the best teams in the NFL may be the key to unlocking his potential once again. Cowboys Super Bowl champion veteran in danger of being cut, writer says. Dallas Cowboys veteran may not be around by the time the regular season starts in September. In an article written by Cowboys Wire's K.D. Drummond, Drummond mentions 11 Cowboys veterans who are in danger of not making the 2024 roster. One of those players is none other than linebacker Damian Wilson. The 31-year-old linebacker rejoined the Cowboys as a member of the practice squad towards the end of the 2023 season after spending the first 4 seasons of his career, 2015 through 2018, in Dallas. The argument for Wilson being a fringe member of the 53-man roster is simple. He's never worked for first-year defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer and is on the bottom of the linebacker depth chart. Wilson, an original Cowboys draft pick, went elsewhere and found glory, winning a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs, writes Drummond. Out of the league, Dallas signed him down the stretch of 2023 when the ranks were depleted, and brought him back this offseason. He's never worked with Zimmer and is probably around LB5 or LB6, so if any of the youngsters behind him show up he could be at risk. The former fourth-round draft pick has actually spent the majority of his career as a starting linebacker. After spending his rookie season as a reserve, Wilson started 6 games during the 2016 season, posting 34 tackles. He would go on to start 16 games over his final 2 seasons with the Cowboys. Wilson would then sign with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he emerged as a full-time starting linebacker for the first time in his career. Not only did he post a career-best season, to that point, with 81 tackles, he won a Super Bowl when the Chiefs defeated the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl 54. The 6-foot, 245-pound Wilson started one more year in Kansas City before signing a deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wilson posted the best season of his career during his lone year in Jacksonville, posting 106 tackles, ranking second on the team, and 3 sacks. After spending the 2022 season with the Carolina Panthers, Wilson did not play a single game during the 2023 season before signing a practice squad contract with the Cowboys at the end of the regular season. During his 8 seasons in the NFL, Wilson holds career totals of 419 tackles and 9 sacks in 127 games and 73 games started. The Cowboys signed UFL standout Willie Harvey Jr. in the offseason, and he would likely be the top threat towards beating out Wilson for a spot on the 53-man roster. Harvey led the league in tackles as a member of the St. Louis Battlehawks and was named to the All-UFL team. Outside of Harvey, the Cowboys also have 2023 third-round pick DeMarvion Overshown, who missed his rookie season due to injury, along with fourth-year man Buddy Johnson and converted safety Marquise Bell. While the idea of Wilson continuing his career with the Cowboys nearly a decade after he was drafted would be a nice story, it might be an uphill battle for him to beat out the 28-year-old Harvey, along with the other youngsters, for a roster spot. Skip Bayless, Cowboys should tank for Deion and Shedeur Sanders. Fox Sports commentator and host Skip Bayless has said some wild things, but this is right up there. Bayless thinks the Dallas Cowboys should tank the upcoming NFL season to try and draft Colorado Buffalo's quarterback Shedeur Sanders and hire head coach Deion Sanders as well. That's a Super Bowl move. That's what my team needs and what my team deserves, Bayless said on his podcast recently. That sounds like a wild scenario. As crazy as Jerry Jones has seemed at times, it sounds a bit unrealistic. Head coach Mike McCarthy is indeed probably coaching for his job, so he's not going to lose on purpose. Second, Deion Sanders has already said that even though his sons are heading to the NFL, he won't be. And third, the Cowboys already have Trey Lance as the heir apparent to Dak Prescott, whom they plan on giving a massive contract soon. That said, Dallas certainly didn't do much in free agency to help the roster. Instead of trying to draft or sign a young running back, they re-signed a slowed-down and older Ezekiel Elliott. So while Skip's idea is definitely far-fetched, it's not out of the realm of possibility that the Cowboys will end up bad enough to earn a high draft pick next season. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Deion Sanders? Leave your opinion in the comments.